And again, this is the how to pass affiliate and customer data to and from bucket.io. I don't know, it looks like I'm kind of rolling solo here tonight, guys, so I will keep my eyes on the chat. If you have questions as we're going through this, totally put them in there, and we'll make sure they get answered on this call, of course, as always. If you need help with Bucket on UTM variables or anything else, and you'd like to schedule a call with a bucket.io specialist, either myself or Jonathan or Mr. Nickel or anyone else who is one of our super awesome bucket specialists, then you're certainly welcome to do so free of charge. I'll send out the link towards the end of this webinar. Alrighty, so like I said, this is being, let me just make sure, this is being recorded. So we are off to the races here. By the end of this webinar, here's what I expect us to accomplish in the next few minutes, up to an hour, but it should be less than an hour. You'll know how to pass UTM data through bucket.io, right? This tracking data from links, and I'll show you kind of how to do that for anyone who may not know how. You'll know how to pass contact information from bucket.io to any other website that you redirect to at the end. And then I'll show you how to pass responses that you collect outside of just the contact information to any website as well, all right? So those are the big ideas here. If you're not familiar with UTM variables, it's basically UTM codes are dynamic links. So you set your link up, and then you can use those links to track, the sources of your traffic, including, platforms like Facebook, Google paid search, or anywhere else where you're sending traffic from. You can get as granular as the creative that you're sending from, like which ad you're using, your campaigns. You can identify by affiliate, and even which creatives are being used. So anyways, using your standard coding, and I'll show you kind of how to go about building it if you're not familiar with it. You can also get these values to appear in your Google Analytics so that you can always be optimizing and make sure that that you're getting the right kind of traffic that's doing the right kind of things on your funnel. All right? Is everybody pretty much on the speed here? See here, my name is Jeremy Estes. That's Estes with an E. It's as though it would be another letter. Anyways, okay, so the first step to using UTM variables or UTM codes inside a bucket is to turn it on. I don't think they're turned on by default, so you do need to turn them on. And I suggest always have them on, no matter what. And especially as on your segmentation funnels as you start sending traffic. Here's why. I mean, if you're running traffic and you're using even the slightest amount of coding in your links, this will help you with your conversion tracking and all kinds of good stuff in your analytics. So let me first walk you through a test. I've got one of these test funnels set up here. And I'm going to show you how to go about turning on the UTM variable stuff, UTM codes. All right, so what you do is you go into your segmentation funnel or your discover survey. It works the same on both, okay? And then what you'll do here is at this very bottom, you've got this kind of wrench with a gear, and it says UTM variables. You'll click on this, and you see I've already got mine turned on here, but what happens when you turn this on is that anything that you have attached to your link at the beginning of the funnel will be passed through all the way to the end. So if you're doing external redirects, this is going to be hugely important for you because being able to track from, if your front end is your segmentation funnel and your back end is a external redirect, then being able to track where the people came from, what ads or what platform the funnel was using, by the time they get to your external outcome pages, and this is more for the segmentation side, you're able to identify what's working best, right? And so, how many people in here already use UTM codes? Just so I can see. If you use UTM variables and codes in your current marketing, let me know. Cool, John, you do. I'll just do a real basic primer. Chris does not. Okay, so there's a couple of you who do not, and several of you who do. So what I'll do, I'm not going to go super deep into it, but just so you understand, like, kind of how it works and what it's used for, and then I'll show you how you can apply it to your bucket URLs. Okay. So just so you understand, UTM is like these codes that go on your link. And so, like, if you're running a Facebook ad, you would put a link inside of Facebook that has these codes on it, so you could say, this person's coming, anyone who clicks this is coming from Facebook, from this ad campaign, from this ad group or ad set, even down to which ad, like which image or which ad is being used. So let me show you just real quick what this looks like. So I typically use the actual Google campaign URL builder. And so I get here, it's easy to find it. If you just go to Google and type in URL builder, it's typically the first one on the screen. Other people may use other things. This is just what I use. I've used it forever. And so what you do is whenever you publish your link from Bucket, you get your URL. So in this case, I'm using a custom domain. I'm using this annuityassessment.online, and this is the link that that Bucket gave me, right? So after I hit publish, it generated this URL. And then what I've done here is I'm running an ad on Newsmax for this, and so I put, Newsmax is my campaign source, so I know everyone who comes through here from Newsmax, I'll know it. It's, the campaign medium is traffic versus email. The campaign is a desktop campaign, so I just put that in there, and I could go, like I said, I could get really granular and put, which ad I'm using and so on. I'm not using too different of ads, so I just kind of use it like this. And so then what happens at the end of filling these things in, I get this URL here. You see? Can you guys see this pretty good? Let me make sure you guys can see this. Can you guys see this URL that Google has kind of created for me? All right. So you can see here, as part of this link, you see after this question mark, see everything before the question mark is my URL. Everything after is, this data that I put in up here. So now I've got UTM source equals Newsmax, medium, traffic, and UTM campaign equals desktop. So how does that work? Like, what happens now? So what would happen is that since I have the, let me jump back over to Bucket here for a second. So since I have this UTM variable turned on, what would happen is whenever someone goes through my Bucket funnel, okay, using this link, this UTM source Newsmax, this UTM medium traffic, and this UTM campaign desktop, that information gets passed through to the main website because I'm using an external redirect at the end, so that I can see everyone who hit my website from this funnel that came from any one of these from this specific link. Is this making sense to everybody? Have I confused those of you who do not use UTMs? Is this making sense? Yes? Okay. Yes, I got one yes. I'm confused. Okay. Kind of. All right. Okay, another yes. So I've got one confused. So I'm not, like I said, I don't want to go super deep on this, but let me just show you, all right? Maybe this will help. Maybe this will help if I actually copy this, paste it, and go to it. All right, so you guys, can you see like the actual browser? Like you can see up here in the URL on the browser. Can you see that? The Explorer bar? Oh man, this is taking a minute. Make sure you guys can see this, okay? Good. All right. I'm going to get back to your question in a second, Kelly, because that's a good question. but I just want to walk through this real quick. So you guys can see up here, right, this URL. So what happens is I'm going to click, start here. I'm going to click this. I'm going to click this. And so now I'm at this thank you page, right? Well, without the URL, without this UTM being passed through, I would lose this information. I wouldn't know where these people came from. But watch this. Just click test. I'm going to click this Get My Plan. And now you see I'm on the actual website with the external redirect. You see here? Let me make sure this doesn't start playing this video. I think it auto plays. Yeah. Okay, so you see you've got this URL up here, right? And then you've got the UTM source equals Newsmax, traffic, desktop. So that information got passed all the way from Bucket. Let me close this before it starts talking. That information got passed all the way from Bucket into the site, so that now when I go look at the Google Analytics for that main website, I can see everyone who came from Newsmax desktop campaign, and so I can see kind of what the performance is of that traffic. Does that make more sense now for all of those of you that were confused? Sorry. Yes. Okay. Cool. Perfect. Good. So I've got a couple of questions in here. These are good ones that I think are perfect for here. So Kelly asked, does this only work when you're using links to pages on your own domain? That's really only the time that you would need it, because you can actually add Google Analytics to your funnel, to your bucket.io survey or your segmentation funnel. But anytime you are doing external redirects back to your site, so that you know what performance is like on Bucket, you want to be able to pass that information through. Does that make sense? So in order to activate the analytics for your main website where you actually are making sales, let's say you have a shopping cart page, or like in this case, a custom kind of delivery page, like the one I just showed you. Those are places where, yeah, you would do it on the external redirect. If you're just keeping everything inside of Bucket and you're not sending anyone out at all, then you wouldn't need it. So hopefully that makes sense for you, Kelly. And Ramona asked, do you create a link for each source? Yeah, I would. Because it's the same link. Like, okay, let me kind of come back over here. It's the same basic URL, like the same segmentation funnel. But let's just say instead of Newsmax, let's say I'm going to do Facebook, right? And the campaign is mobile. Medium's mobile, or let's call this newsfeed, right? And then it's for desktop. You see what I'm saying? So what it does is it generates this this URL for the Facebook. So this is the link that I would use for Facebook, for my Facebook ads. I'd probably go a little bit deeper over here, but you see what I'm saying? So I wouldn't use the same UTM codes on Newsmax that I would on Facebook, because I wouldn't be able to tell them. So yeah, it's a different link for each advertising platform. Does that make sense, Ramona? Hopefully it does. David says, can I add new UTM variables inside of Bucket, not just pass through UTM variables, but add new ones inside of Bucket? Yes, and I'm going to show you how to do that here in a second. Getting a little ahead, but that's good. And so Chris said, does this become the link for the welcome page to Bucket? Yeah, if you're using a welcome page, this is the link to the welcome page. If you're not, it's the link to the first question. Is this making sense? I see one person says they lost sound. Did anybody else lose sound? All right. Okay, yes, we just turn UTM on in Bucket, then we use the links where we want. That's right. Cool. Yes, you are correct, Ramon. Awesome. Thank you, everyone who's telling me they can hear me. Okay, so that's the basic idea of the UTM, passing it in. There's another idea, and it was actually the title of the webinar, is affiliate links. So you would basically do an affiliate link the same way, right? We're using the UTM codes that we're building in Google. If you wanted to, let's say you're how many people here have affiliates? Does anybody here, have actual affiliates? Okay, Johan, you do. So if you wanted to, you could actually, if you found out that that your segmentation funnel performed better than just sending people directly to like a sales page, for instance, you could actually give somebody their URL, their bucket URL, attach their affiliate ID to it, and then let them use your segmentation funnel, and it would still pass their affiliate ID through to the sales page. Does that make sense? So instead of doing like this UTM source or whatever, you could come over here, and I think I've got a good example over here. So I'm going to get to these next few steps in a second, but I just want to get this one last thing pushed through so you guys can see what I'm talking about. It's just another way of doing the same thing. Let me do this one. Let me just publish this thing real quick so you guys can kind of see what I'm talking about. And just so you can see that you can do it without a custom domain as well. So any bucket URL that gets developed, that gets published, you can use the UTM codes for. So I just published this. Let me make sure that the UTM is turned on. So you see where I hit configure, coming over to UTM variables. It was not turned on. So I'm going to hit save. All right, now it's turned on, right? So let's go back over to publish. Let's grab that URL, and I don't think I grabbed it. All right, and so then let's just do a quick paste. All right, and then so let's do this. Let's say that instead of like UTM whatever, let's just say AF ID equals Jeremy, right? And so this will always be different. I mean, just depending on your affiliate programming and all of that. But all I'm basically showing you here is that if you are doing affiliate stuff, this is how you would set it up. It's the same thing. It's a UTM code that's going to get passed through. So I'm going to start this quiz. I'm going to go Jack, Calvin, Jamal, and I'm going to do test. And then what happens here is, oh, I didn't, did I save it? Maybe I didn't save it right. What should have happened there is that my affiliate ID got passed through. So let's go back over to configure. Bucket, well, I wonder, you know what, I bet it's because they're using a WordPress site. That's interesting. Let's try this again, shall we? Let's do, I love it when it doesn't work. Okay, so we've got the UTM code here. So, give me 1 second, I'm just trying to. There it is. That's really weird. I don't know. Maybe I just didn't save it, or I typed in something wrong. But as you guys can you guys see the URL here? Everybody can see how the affiliate ID got passed through. So that if I, as a customer, was going through here now, and I decided, you know what, I'm going to buy this thing. This is exactly right. They nailed me to the wall. They click on this, and now I, as an affiliate, get the credit because my affiliate ID was the 123. So that's, again, that's the UTM variables. By passing those through, by setting your links up and turning the pass UTM variables on, this is how you pass it all the way through to that external redirect. Okay. So let's do this. Let's go through and get a few more questions here. Where would I attach the affiliate code? Johan, you saw that at the end, right? You just put it on your bucket link. You just put the question mark, cool, and then yeah. So you see how to do it. What's the difference between using a custom Facebook pixel versus the UTM variables? So, Chris, that's a good question. The difference is a Facebook pixel is strictly for Facebook, right? And so when someone hits your bucket funnel, it fires off a thing in Facebook so that it creates an audience, starts building, adds them to your audience. With the link, with the UTM link, what you're telling your analytics code, your Google Analytics or your affiliate analytics, whatever analytics you're using that's not Facebook, you're telling them where this person came from so that later on you can go back and look at everyone who's, let's say, campaign source, which in this case, was Facebook, or I had that other one that was Newsmax. You can see which of those people basically made you the most money, right? So at the end of the day, you go back and say, wow, we spent $1,000 on Facebook newsfeed desktop campaign, and we ended up with, 1,000 customers, then we made our money back. And if you didn't, then you can be like, well, this one's a loser, so we get rid of that. So basically what you're doing here, and it's great practice to always do this, right? You don't, by creating these links and putting the UTM codes on the links, you always kind of get that second opinion, and so you're not just looking just at Facebook's reporting. You're also able to go back into your analytics and back to your your reporting and just kind of say, oh, okay, this thing is working or it's not. So again, I don't want to get super deep in like affiliate tracking or campaign optimization, but this is just like a primer. But this is how you pass those values through bucket, is on the screen where it says pass UTM variables. Yes, Robert. Robert asked, so comparing your UTM to a Facebook ad with Facebook pixel data, you can see dropouts. Yeah, on the reporting part of Facebook, yes. All right. Boom, boom. All right. So I had a question earlier. Someone asked, can you generate UTM codes from within Bucket? And the answer to that is yes. And here's how you do it. There's two different ways of doing it. Number one, you can add append responses from your quiz or your Discover survey, and you would do that by coming over here and turning on append responses when redirecting, right? So what you would do is over here we've got we had this is the, I think we're still in the Madden one, obviously. Choose your quarterback. So then I would call my UTM tag QB, right? And then you would just do that for each of the responses. So I would say QB equals, Eli, or QB equals Dak. Are you guys seeing how this is working? So like before, where UTM source equals Facebook, attached to the end of it now would have QB equals, and then whatever I chose here. Is this making sense? Just want to jump back over here, make sure it's making sense. Yes, good, good. So what you can do with this stuff is like, you can help with your analytics, but B, if you have, like a lot of people, like with Shopify, for instance, you have a certain tagging system in Shopify that maybe this will help you maybe add a color or a certain product grouping. There's so many different things you can do with this type of information where you could actually customize where they go on the end or just track it in your analytics. Again, it's just by being able to send this stuff off, for those of you who are super creative, with trying to get people to convert, this is priceless for you. And for those of you who just don't even know what the heck I'm talking about, don't worry about it. You will. The power is there for you, so that when you do get to the point where you're like, oh man, I could totally send, this stuff off, and again, it doesn't have to even be the exact, like, see what I'm saying? QB, Eli, Dak, and all that. I could make this something totally different. Like, I could go in and I could make these things say whatever I wanted to. So, but this is how you set up and create those UTM codes on the fly. And that's off of the responses. The other way that you can do it and create another UTM on the fly from inside a bucket is with the lead capture information. So if you want to pass off the email address and phone number, you can do that, and you can do it for each what's the word I'm looking for? Oh, each lead capture page. So you see here, I've got 2 different lead capture pages. I'll just put EM. Say it ahead. Oh wait, you know what? That's right. On this one, I only have 1. On the other one that I was showing you guys had 3 different ones. So on this one, there's only 1 lead capture, but all I do is say the email UTM tag equals EM. Then whatever email address they put in automatically gets put onto the URL, so that, again, if I'm a savvy affiliate, I'm sending off the email so that my affiliate partner can start emailing, so that I get a better shot at getting my commissions. So it's just like I said, guys, there's so many things you can do with it once you turn it on and start playing and sending it off. And I think that's why the idea of calling this like an affiliate affiliate tracking, that's one of the main reasons we decided to go that route, is because there's so many things affiliates can do with Bucket, right? To just get up your game and get even more conversions when you send this stuff off to your affiliate partners. So is this all making sense? All right, so I've got a few questions here. I'm going to back up. Sorry, I get on my little rants and I don't look at the questions. All right, so Christina asks, if a person is a friend of an affiliate Facebook site and they come to our site through Bucket, if they come again, will the tag still be there for that person? Gonna be totally honest with you, I'm not sure I understand that question. If you have an affiliate, like a friend who has an affiliate, and they come through your site through Bucket, oh, okay, I think I see it. So you're asking if they come back to your site after they've been to Bucket, but they don't come through that link, can you still track it? See, all that is like with affiliate cookies and all that, but they won't be tracked with the link again if they don't come through the same link. Like, it won't apply to that campaign. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but for them to get counted in your analytics as the UTM code, they have to come through that link. Google and most, Google Analytics is smart enough to tell you, like, they'll apply a, they'll give the credit to a certain campaign source. If you're tracking conversions in your analytics, they're smart enough to be able to tell that. I don't know from affiliates. Most of them are, but I can't give you a definite yes or no on that one, Christina. So does that make sense? Hopefully that makes sense. I know it kind of sounded a little confusing, but if it does, just let me know. Or if you need to go deeper into the question, just let me know. Chris says, can you give me an example of what I would do with sending it to Drip? Yeah. So what I would do, and what I always do when I'm sending an email through a Bucket funnel that's going to end up going to the main site at the redirect, is I would say, I'd just come over here and say campaign source, email, campaign medium, Drip. campaign name, whatever the name of the campaign is, you know, whatever list you're sending from, or whatever your campaign, you know, the name of your campaign that you're setting up. So, you know, old customers survey or something like that, right? And then what I would do is this is the link that I would put inside of my drip email that goes out. That way, when I'm tracking it through analytics later, I can see, oh wow, all these people who came from the old customer survey, you know, filled out and bought this, or, you know, actually went through the survey and so on. So you can track it doing just like that. That's how I would do it. Can you, if you don't want to track individual answers, can you just tag the question? Yes. Yes, you can. And again, just it's exactly, you do it the exact same way. So you see here we append responses. You see where it's got choose your quarterback, QB equals, and then whatever you want to put there. I want to, okay, David says, I want to append my outcomes as UTM variables. Can I do that? Yes. In fact, you can. It's a little bit different. You wouldn't do it here. What I would do is, let's go back to build. I'm just going to discard these changes. I was all crazy over there. What I would do, edit existing funnel. Okay. I would so in this one, here's my outcomes, right? What you could do is you could say on this one, you could just, you know, start it off with would I do it like this? Yes, I think I would. I would just put outcome equals, or we'll have to test this. I'm trying to think if I would actually do it like this. GP. Let's try this. I'm almost positive that will work, but let's try it, shall we? Do the quiz. I'm gonna go deck. Colin, Adrian. Sorry, I hate testing like right on site, but that's a good question, and I think that's how I would do it. Let's find out. Yeah, that's how I would do it. You see how you hard code the outcome on in your outcome. Like you can't, like there's not, I don't think, I'm like 99% sure there's not like an outcome append responses. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's not an outcome. An outcome section here where you can do it. So I would actually hard code it on the outcome. Does that make sense? Did I get that for you? Is that helpful? Can I see that again? Yeah. Okay. So I went to build, and discard changes. I went to build, and then I hit the outcome page itself, right? And so this one I've got the URL, and then at the end I just hard code outcome equals, you know, the this one would be, you know, ground and pound. So I just put outcome equals GP, right? And I would just know that GP for outcome for this campaign would equal that. Does that make sense? Cool. All right, let's see here. Let's jump back through there. Okay, the drip email broadcast. Okay, Carl says, that drip email broadcast, they will need to enter their email again also. Can we pass the email ID somehow to avoid this? So you're asking if you can pass email ID into Bucket and have it auto-populate on the lead capture page? Is that what you're asking, Carl? Okay. So you can't like right now. That's not something that is possible. It would you could pass it, but they would still have to enter their email address. It would get just passed all the way through to the outcome. Well, the thing is, Carl, I know you. Okay, so I see you use Infusionsoft, and the only thing is there's no place in Bucket to suck down that info and use it inside the actual questions, right? Inside the lead capture page yet. It's a good one, but not yet. But but it does sound like we're on the same page. Yeah. Well, you know what? Does everybody here know how to do a feature request? If you don't know, I'm about to show you. You see this little smiley? This guy right here? Smile. Click him and put the feature request in. You see it here? New conversation. And then just another little pro tip, the more times you type that feature request in, the more they're going to see it. So you just click the little smiley face here and say feature request, and then type your feature request in, and they will get it. And like I said, the more people that do it, the more times they do it, the more likely it is to get pushed to the front of the line. So that's for you, Carl. You're welcome for that little tip. All right. Which one? Okay. So to be honest with you guys, like this is pretty much it. Like that, I figured we'd be able to get through it pretty quick. That's how you do it. Like that's how you pass UTM variables through. If you need help finding this URL builder, honestly, literally every time I want to use it. You see, I just hit backspace every time. I just go to Google URL Builder and click the first one. For those of you that might have your own, some people have their own, but I always just go literally to Google, type URL Builder. I've been doing it for I don't know how long. So that's how you get to the URL Builder, and then you put in your website URL would be your Bucket link, and what third option are you talking about, John? Are you talking about on Bucket? Yeah, same thing. It's literally the same thing as appending the response data. Instead of passing like what answers they gave you, you would just be passing email address, or if you're asking for a name, you could pass their name through. If you're getting their phone number, you can pass their phone number through. You just put the tag name, and then whatever they filled in, that's what gets sent through. That's what this option's for. Does that make sense? Cool. Yeah, guys. Why? Well, I mean, there's a couple of reasons why. Like one of like Carl said, maybe you've got another form. Like let's say, for instance, you have. I'm just going to throw something out there that you guys might be familiar with. Let's say this is a webinar. You're using your segmentation funnel to get leads for a webinar, right? And let's say that you're using a third, like Infusionsoft, for your webinar. Well, it would stink if you had to ask them for their name and email on the front end, and then ask them again, right? If you could pass that information from Bucket into Infusionsoft, which you would be doing in this case because you would have it in the URL, then you could just automatically, all they'd have to do is click, oh yeah, put me in the webinar, and it would. It's just an integration type of deal. So if you wanted to pass that stuff through and not have them retype it in again on the next screen, that's one reason why you would append the contact information stuff. Another reason would be if, again, if you are doing a deal with someone, you could just send them the information and they can start doing the marketing, on your behalf as well. So it's like doubling up on the marketing and getting more conversions. I got a couple questions that came in. Can we do that now with Infusionsoft and not have to go through Zapier? Ooh, I've got news for you, lady. Yes, and I'm not going to get too deep into it, but yes, we now have direct integrations with, for those of you who don't know, you ready for it? The drum roll, Infusionsoft. So if you have Infusionsoft, we have direct integrations. Yes, I know you've been waiting for this. I've got one person on this call specifically who has continuously asked me about this. I won't say your name out loud, Ramona. I mean, all right. So Infusionsoft, again, Carl, I don't want to go too crazy into into integration stuff, but Infusionsoft integration gives you the ability to send stuff directly through to Infusionsoft. So we don't have direct integration with Aweber yet, no. But again, you can still do the same thing. It doesn't matter where your email is sending them off, you can still use the UTM variables. That boils down to where are you sending them at the end of your funnel, right? Oh, I see another email here, or another question. Be better. Okay, do you need Google Analytics on the outcome page to determine the source? Yeah, so I don't know. Honestly, I don't know what Lead Pages does. I assume you can put Google Analytics on Lead Pages. I'm almost positive you can. But that's where you would just be tracking it through those UTMs. But yeah, in order to use the UTM variables in analytics, you need to have analytics on the outcome page for sure. Can we use a Facebook Messenger button on the contact capture page and capture that in Bucket? Mark, what does this look like? Just kidding. No, I don't. You could do it on the outcome page, I think, but well, you know what? I wonder if you could. It depends on the HTML code. If it's like super advanced HTML, I don't think so. I've never tried it. Mark, you should try it. Whatever they give you, just put it into, like I would put it, like if it was me and I was trying it out, and I probably will after we get out of here. Let's see, here's where I would put it. Let's go to segment. Let's go to edit. Let's just edit this one. So I would, if you're talking about putting it on the lead capture page, I would maybe put it, yeah, maybe like under here. I would maybe any of these places where you could put, like as you can see, I mean, I've got HTML on all these places, right? And so maybe like under the button, maybe under this like regular button, maybe you put the Facebook button right there. That'd be kind of cool. If it works, it's great. That'd be awesome. But I don't know. It's a good question. I like that question. All right, folks. It is 4:45 Central Time. You guys can throw as many questions as you want at me, even ones I don't know the answer to, like Mr. Mark over here, trying to stump the guru. Let me do this, actually, while I'm thinking about it, because one thing I do know is that if you're on this call and you need a one-on-one call with a Bucket specialist, here is your chance. And if you've never been, I'll go through my my spiel about the one-on-one call, because you guys, you know how much I want you to take these things because they're free, and I don't know if they're going to stop doing them. I actually have heard word that they might stop doing these for everyone. So if you have not gotten your very own free one-on-one call, I highly recommend it ASAP. If you have any kind of issue, question, if you're trying to get leads, or if you're doing stuff for clients, or if you just want somebody to look at the thing for you, whether it's a survey or a segmentation funnel or whatever, if you're actually trying to use Bucket and you just want that extra kind of leg up, this is for you, the one-on-one calls. It's a 15-minute, it's not an actual phone call, so don't be sitting by your phone waiting for the hotline bling. This is a Zoom chat where you'll actually get to see your Bucket specialist, on your computer. We'll be doing like a screen share and walking you through. There's no problem too large. You can just ask anybody. I've seen them all, and nor there's not one too small either. But if you want to stay on track, and like I said, you're paying for a software, you want to make sure it's actually working for you. And if you have any doubt that it is right now, get one of these calls. Seriously, it's free. And it's not like the whole time someone's going to be sitting there trying to sell you something else. It's like actually fixing problem, or at least getting you moving forward. So, I guess it would be helpful. I gave you guys a link, huh? Let me discard these changes. I think I've got one. Got one I made a few minutes ago. Yeah. I'll just use this one for now. Okay. Bounce back over here. I'm going to put this in the chat. Let me know if you guys can see this. Where's the chat? Just going to put it in here. All right. Real quick. Can you guys see this? Can you see the link, everyone? Yes, yes, yes. No. How come you're the only one who can't see it, Johan? All right, let me do it again. This one's just for you. Try that. Chris, you can't see it either, man? It should be on the chat. Okay, cool. Johan, did you get it, sir? All right, let me see. I saw a couple of questions pop in while I was messing with that part. So let's see. Can we use the button? Is there an advantage to using Bucket's welcome page instead of a lead pages page? Not really. I mean, just for ease of use, I would use the Bucket page, but no, I mean, I've done it both ways, and I've seen people using extremely successful funnels use it both ways. So it's up to you. It's totally 100% up to you and your ability to customize. That's what it boils down to usually, is that Bucket just is not, it's not a landing page builder yet, right? It has a landing page builder on it, but that's not what it is. Scoring quizzes with scoring as an outcome. Oh, David's asking when will Bucket have scoring quizzes. I don't even know. Honestly, I just don't know. That's like a whole, honestly, it's a whole different way of doing quizzes. It's just spinning for me. Is anybody else having problems accessing this link that I just sent out for the one-on-one calls? Make sure. Oh, this is what you should be seeing, Mr. Matt. Kelly says, thank you so much for this. Very useful. Yeah, try reloading it, Matt. You're absolutely welcome, Kelly. All right, Carl, take it easy. Hey, you're absolutely welcome, David. Thank you, all of you guys, for showing up. You know I love doing this. I love talking to you too and helping out any way that I possibly can. So if you haven't already, get that one-on-one. You know it. You guys are awesome. I'm so glad you're in here using this stuff. I hope if you aren't using UTM variables and you're paying for traffic, hopefully today is the last day you don't use them because it's super important. And yeah, definitely get those one-on-ones. Definitely get those in. And like I said, if you guys need anything, you can always reach out to us. You got the happy smiley face inside of Bucket. You've got support at bucket.io. You've got the link I just gave you for a one-on-one. You've got our Facebook page where you can go rant and rave on on any of our Facebook posts. Yeah, with all the different ways, we try to be as available as possible. So, all right, that I believe concludes. Looks like all the questions have come in. And okay, Matt, hopefully you got. Did you get the link? Cool, awesome, ladies and gents, Bucketeers. We will see you guys later. If you need anything, just like I said, just let us know. I am signing out. Bye-bye.